perustuslain 65 pykälän ensimmäisen
Sanna
momentin
Marin,
säännöksiä.
34, took
Ehdokas on
office
tullut
in
valituksi
Finland on Tuesday
pääministeriesityksen
as the
tulos.
world's youngest serving prime minister, heading a coalition with four other parties led by women, all but one of them under 35. During an address to the press, she outlined future-oriented policy for the country.
We want to build a society that is socially, economically, and environmentally sustainable. We want to strengthen equality, education, and skills. We want Finland to be a country where every child can become anything and everyone can live and grow old safely and happily. We are going to be active in European Union and globally. We want to create stability. The new government starts its work today. I too have a busy week. I will attend the European Council in Brussels and meet my European colleagues for the first time. I have been glad to see the international attention towards Finland. This is our opportunity to tell who we Finns are and what kind of country Finland is.
Finland's new leader is the third woman to hold this position. Marin said she never thought about her age and gender. I asked Heikki Kahu, Deputy Head of Mission Embassy of Finland, about gender equality in the country and the sentiment among Finns on their new leader.
I think many Finns share a sense of pride and excitement at the moment, and there's been a massive media attention around the world on this topic. I think Finnish people feel pride about the fact that in Finland it's possible for basically anyone to become anything with the right capabilities and skills and knowledge.
Yes. The world seemed amazed by the main two factors, her age and her gender, of Prime Minister Sanna Marin, who is 34 years old. But when she told reporters, she said she doesn't think at all about age and gender. Why is that?
I think that's something very characteristic of the Finnish society and the equality that we have in Finland. Finland is probably one of the most equal societies in the world by many measures. It's not perfect, but still it's a society whereby it's the individual capabilities that are the main factor for success instead of your age or your gender or your family background or your wealth.
What do you think is the main factor that has took her this far as Prime Minister at quite young age, at 34?
Well, I believe she's successful because she's an incredibly capable and talented young politician who in addition has been able to speak the language that both the party leaders and the voters want to hear. Maybe for some voters she represents a future-oriented politician. As we know, in many European countries there has been probably a sentiment of disappointment in the kind of traditional politics. Maybe, for example, in how politicians handle the challenge of the climate change that will affect mostly the new generations, the young generations and their kids. So in that sense also having a young leader might reflect the will to have more future-oriented leaders for our country. But most importantly, I would say she became Prime Minister not because of her gender, not because of her age, but because of her capabilities and talents.
So should we say that it's time to celebrate that gender is no longer an issue in politics in Finland?
Well, it would be naive to say that gender is no longer any kind of an issue. Of course, much work remains to be done. But at least we can be proud that we have made it this far. There's been lots of positive development, and young girls in schools can be sure that they can achieve anything in their life. So for sure there is a lot to be proud of.
It must be quite striking to be like case study for masculinity as well. And I'm just wondering whether it will affect confidence of masculine or male. Like for you, do you feel threatened to see like the whole coalition parties led by women? It means that the whole country having female leadership.
I would say most Finnish men would still rather feel proud rather than threatened.
It's mean in terms of culture, it's very in gender equality mindset.
I would say so. Most, of course, like in any society, there are people with different opinions, but I would say overall there is a very strong public sentiment of pride and excitement that something like this is possible in today's Finland. And of course, we don't know if after the next government it might be that it's we have many more men again, so we have reached a situation, for example, now all the opposition, nearly all of the opposition parties are led by men, so of course the situation might change after the next elections again.
Only 2 days into her premiership, Marin hit the ground running on the international stage to discuss Brexit and the climate crisis at the EU summit. Answering a question about her age and diversity in the European Council, she said people from different generations and backgrounds were needed to make good decisions in society. Natha Gomonwadin, Thai PBS World Report.